It's me, Jessie, and welcome to my humble abode. I'm going to be co-teaching this Hatha class alongside Zabel. She will be doing the second half, so some seated and standing poses, and I'm going to start us off. I just wanted to begin just by talking about how so many people want to rush back to normal, and so many people are just counting down for this to end. And while that is completely a valid thing, I also think that, Mother Earth is calling for us to truly slow down in this season. So I'm just going to ask for everybody to get into child's pose, and I'm going to read a poem that many of you may have heard, but many of you may have not heard it. So I want you to just go into child's pose, ground your palms into the floor, and relax your hips down into your heels. We are not in the same boat. I heard that we are in the same boat, but it's not like that. We are in the same storm, but not in the same boat. Your ship can be shipwrecked, and mine cannot, or vice versa. For some, quarantine is optimal, moment of reflection, of reconnection, easy, in flip-flops with a whiskey or tea. For others, this is a desperate crisis. For others, it is facing loneliness. For some, a peace, rest time, vacation. For others, torture. How am I going to pay my bills? Some were concerned about a brand of chocolate for Easter. This year, there was no rich chocolate. Others were concerned about the bread for the weekend, if the noodles will last for another few days. Some were in their home office. Others are looking through trash to survive. Some want to go back to work because they are running out of money. Others want to kill those who break the quarantine. Some need to break the quarantine to stand in line at the banks. Others to escape. Others criticize the government for the lines. Some have faith in God and expect miracles during this 2020. Others say the worst is yet to come. So friends, we are not in the same boat. We are going through a time when our perceptions and needs are completely different, and each one will emerge in its own way from that storm. Some with a tan from their pool, others with scars on their soul. It is very important to see beyond what is seen at first glance. Not just looking, more than looking, seeing. So beyond the political party, beyond religion, beyond the nose on your face, do not underestimate the pain of others if you do not feel it. Do not judge the good life of the other. Do not condemn the bad life of the other. Just don't be a judge. Let us not judge the one who lacks, as well as the one who exceeds him. We are on different ships looking to survive. Let everyone navigate their route with respect, empathy, and responsibility. Author unknown. So while you are in child's pose, I want you to take 3 deep breaths here. In the nose and out the mouth. If you are feeling called to have a sip of tea or called to be in another position, just remember everything I offer you is an invitation during this time. So in the nose, out the nose. There's a breathing called Ujjayi that we use in yoga. It's in the nose and out the nose, and it kind of sounds a bit like the ocean. So if you want to join along and do that breathing, feel free. I'm going to join you in a child's pose. Slowly rock your hips from side to side. And plant your hands into your mat and ground your knuckles and press up into tabletop. From tabletop, I want you to curl up into cat. And then roll your belly down and look up, reach up into cow. Take 2 breaths here. Exhale from the mouth. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Slowly, I want you to come back and rest your glutes onto your heels and place one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart. Inhale, hold it, exhale out the mouth. Make your way to standing, and we're going to begin our practice with one chant of Om. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Breathe in. Release. Breathe in. Inhale, reach your hands up overhead. Exhale, release. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, step your right foot back. Step your left foot back, and you're going to lower all the way down onto your belly. Inhale, exhale. Place your hands in front of you on your mat and make them wider than your mat. And on your next inhale, you're going to loop your shoulders back and inhale up into cobra, baby cobra. Exhale, release. We're going to do 2 more of those on our own. On the next inhale, bring your hands underneath your chest, and we're going to press up into our tabletop. We're going to go into cat and cow. So inhale, curl your back up into cat. Exhale, lower your belly, chest lifts, chin lifts, and gaze upwards. Exhale into cat. Inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. Inhale, neutral spine, and we're going to go into our first downward dog of the day. Hips up and back, pedal through your feet, walk your dog, shake your tail. Hatha is a bit of a slower flow, so just take your time here, feeling any tension and releasing it. And just take a couple breaths here in your downward dog. Make sure that your hands are firmly planted. And if your heels reach, that's okay. If they don't, like mine, that's okay too. Inhale, exhale. On your next inhale, bring your left foot forward and step. And bring your right foot forward and lean into your forward fold. If you want to grab opposite elbows, you can. Or you can just leave your hands hanging and moving side to side. On your next inhale, you're going to reach halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, release. Inhale, reach your hands all the way up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, reach your hands all the way up to the sky. Look up, reach up. On your next exhale, forward fold. Inhale your right foot to the back of your mat. Exhale your left foot to follow, and slowly release all the way down onto your mat. Make sure your toes are planted and pushing down into the earth, and bring your hands forward and wide, and we're going to inhale into baby cobra. On your next inhale, bring your hands underneath your chest and press up into tabletop. We're going to do a little bit of threading the needle with our arms. So we're going to inhale, and we're going to lift our right arm right up to the sky with our eyes gazing towards our right hand. And on our next exhale, you're going to reach your arm underneath and rest your shoulder and your cheek onto the mat. Take 2 breaths here. On your next inhale, bring your hand back through and come back into a neutral table. And now we're going to do the left side. Inhale, your left arm up to the sky. Look up, gazing to your hand. Exhale, you're going to pull it through and rest your shoulder and your cheek onto your mat. On your next inhale, reach your hand back and come into a neutral table. Going to exhale into cat this time. And inhale into cow. Lower your chest and inhale right up. Exhale, come to neutral table. Inhale, and on your next exhale, push up and back into downward facing dog. Still feel free to walk out your dog. And on your next inhale, you're going to step your left foot between your hands. And then step your right foot to meet it. I'm just going to hang out for a little bit in forward fold. We're going to make a little bit of heat here. So we're going to inhale, our arms right up overhead, and then exhale, whoosh, right back down. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, swoosh them back down. 2 more. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Good. We're going to inhale halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your hands all the way up to the sky. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Feel free to set your gaze on the ground in front of you, or if you feel comfortable shutting your eyes, I invite you to do so as we take 2 deep breaths. On your next exhale, release, forward fold. And you're going to inhale your right leg and step it back. Exhale your left foot to join it. And from high plank, you're going to lower down onto your belly. Press your toes and your tops of your feet into the mat. And bring your hands far up and wide on your mat. And we're going to inhale into baby cobra. Exhale down. Make sure your fingers are spread and root right down into your knuckles. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, release. I invite you to bring your hands underneath your chest, push up, come into a neutral table. We're going to do 2 more rounds of cat and cow. We're going to inhale into cat, exhale into cow. Inhale into cat, exhale into cow. Reach your hips up and back in a downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet a little bit. And this time we're going to inhale our left foot between our hands. Inhale, and then exhale. Bring your right foot to meet it. Hanging out a little bit in forward fold. Inhale, reach your hands up overhead. And exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, your arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. And we're going to do just 2 vinyasas here, just to get a little bit warm. So place your hands onto your mat and you can hop, step, or shoot back into chaturanga. Lower, down, halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So from downward facing dog, again, you may hop, step, or whatever is comfortable for you in getting to the top of your mat. And then you're going to inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. And then exhale, bring your hands to heart center. The serious part of the series is meant to build a little bit more heat here. So we're going to inhale, our arms up overhead. Exhale, bring our hands to heart center and come all the way down into a forward fold. You may jump or shoot or step back into chaturanga. Lower halfway down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And step it out. Take 2 breaths here. And crouch down, bring your knees towards the mat, and try to hop forward here, but if not, you may step, whatever is comfortable for you. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. We're going to go into a goddess pose here. So step your left foot to one side of your mat and your right foot to the other. And make sure that your toes are pointing to opposite corners of your mat. And we're going to slowly release and go down and lower. We're just going to take 2 breaths here. Go a little bit lower here. And I want you to think about your connection to the earth while you're in this goddess pose. As your feet are rooted into the ground, think of Earth Day and how it just came and just how the earth is really thanking us for everything right now. I was told today that the ozone layer has actually repaired part of itself. The canals in Italy are clean. There's just so many magnificent things happening from all of this, and it can't help but cross my mind that perhaps there is some good to all of this chaos. Okay, we're gonna take 1 more inhale and let it out of your mouth. Good. Inhale, straighten up your legs, and we're gonna angle our feet forwards and step your feet together. We're going to go into tree pose. I invite you, if you would like to try it on your blocks, feel free. So you just place your block down on your mat and step onto your block. If you don't have blocks, feel free to use something else that is elevated and approximately the same size. And you can rest your right foot onto your left shin, or you can bring it above the knee, but make sure that your foot is above or below the knee to avoid injury. You may notice the foot that is grounded is flicking a little bit, and those are your tendons working really, really hard to find balance in your body. I just realized that majority of the standing series I will be cut off, but that's okay. Still gonna go with it because I think that this is more of a practice opportunity for me, so I'm not gonna start re-recording now. If you're feeling confident here, try swaying your branches of your tree from side to side. The wind is rustling through you. Mother Earth is having her way. And just imagine that you are a tree, grounded and rooted and planted, just how we're meant to be. If you want to reach your arms up overhead, you may, or you may keep your hands at heart center. Everything I suggest is merely an invitation. On your next exhale, I want you to turn your knee forwards and put your foot out and come back to standing. Notice the difference here between your left leg and your right leg. Maybe some tightness in your left IT band, or perhaps a little bit of tension. Before we do the other side, just shake out your legs a little bit. And we are going to step onto the block or your mat with your right foot. Everybody tends to have differences on both sides. For me, my right hip has a lot of tension and tightness, and it's not really mobile. So when I do my tree with my right foot planted, I usually feel more comfortable placing my left foot onto my shin. Again, I want you to reach up, inhale your arms up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Take a few breaths here. If you're feeling very adventurous, you may even try closing your eyes. If that is a lot for you, I invite you to find a drishti around your house or wherever you may be practicing right now. And again, I want you to reach your tree and grow your branches and sway side to side, or stay planted and rooted and stable. I'm just swaying a little bit here as I am grounded. There's a lot of symbolism to this, as even though there is going to be lots of storms and wind blowing, you can still remain grounded and planted. Inhale your arms up. Exhale your hands to heart center. Extend your left foot out, flex your toes, and step off your block or release your tree. Shake out your legs here. Excellent. And I want you to step up to the top of your mat. Reach your arms up overhead and exhale, bring your hands to heart center. And take one inhale, hold, and exhale out of the mouth.
Okay, hi everybody. So my name is Zabel and I'm going to do the second part of your practice today. Thank you to Jess for inviting me to participate, and where you were left off is in Tadasana. So I'm going to invite you to make sure that you're in Tadasana again if you've come out, and just find that nice, steady, supportive stance. Feel your feet grounding into the earth. Take a moment to bring your hands to your heart center. Release your shoulders and breathe here for a moment. Processing the practice so far, feeling grounded and connected to the earth, feeling the support that it provides to you. If you're not already at the top of your mat, I'll invite you to come to the top now. Inhale, arms reach up nice and tall, and exhale, forward fold all the way down. You can bend your knees if you like, and then just take a step back into downward facing dog. From here, perhaps maybe you'll notice that your heels can get a little bit further to the ground. Your knees can be straight, your knees can be bent. And I'll invite you to put most of your pressure into your index finger and your thumb. Really root down and ground into the earth. Feel its support. Feel the strength that it provides to you in this pose. Aiming here for a nice, straight, strong spine. Don't worry too much about whether or not your heels are reaching the ground. Breathing here. Take one more nice big deep inhale and exhale. And on your next inhale, reach your right leg back behind you to give yourself a little bit of momentum and bring that foot forward between your two hands. We're going to turn our back foot so our heels are aligned, setting up for warrior two. Find that firm foundation. Make sure that your knee is stacking over your front ankle. Make sure that your back foot is angled slightly and you've got the capacity to push into the outer edge of that foot. And once you've found that rooting and that grounding, rising up nice and tall, starting perhaps by making sure that your core line, your trunk is nice and straight. I like to then extend my arms with hands, palms up to begin, and then from my elbow, turn and drop the hands down, palms facing down. And then taking a nice inhale here, exhaling, turning just the neck to gaze forward over that front arm. Relaxing the shoulders here, feeling strength and support and foundation in those grounding feet, making sure that your knee is not coming inward or flailing out, that it's tracked over top of that front knee nice and strongly. Find your support, find your grounding. Take a nice big deep inhale. Exhale, bring that front arm down on top of that bent knee into side angle, and maybe take that other arm up over top. Breathing here deeply, feel the strength in your core supporting you. Feel the strength from the earth providing that foundation. Try not to collapse into your side, but instead lift up and out from the core and just allow that front arm to be a support for you. So you're not pushing your weight into it. And we'll inhale back up to warrior two, and then exhale, take a nice back bend over into exalted warrior. Breathing here, feeling a nice opening on that sideline of the body, nice and straight. Avoid the collapse and the crunching. It's not about bending over, it's about lifting up and out. And then back over warrior two, again to side angle, extending up and out. And we'll just do this dynamically a couple of times. Warrior two, and then back to exalted. At your own pace, following your breath. Breathing deeply. And after your next exalted, bring yourself back to a strong warrior two stance, opening up in the hips, and then windmill your arms down into a downward facing dog. Step that front leg back. Maybe pedal out the feet a bit, and then eventually coming to stillness. Rooting into your front index fingers and your thumbs so that all the weight is evenly distributed and you're not dumping all the weight into your wrists. Take a nice big deep inhale here, lift up that left leg straight to give it a little bit of momentum as you bring that leg forward, and then twist on the other side, warrior two on the other side. I'm just going to turn around so that I'm facing you. Remember again, heel to heel alignment. Make sure that right knee is tracking, or the left knee is tracking over the left leg. Open up and then find your warrior two stance. Feel rooted in your feet. Feel the slight angle of your toes coming forward and the back toes pushing into the ground, but allowing that weight and that strength in your legs to lift you from the core up and open up the chest, open up the heart. And coming into side angle on this side. And we'll do this dynamically again, but for now, just take a moment to stretch out and open up, lifting up through the core and up and over. Maybe you notice the side feels a little bit different. And then up to warrior two and over to exalted warrior again on this side. Lifting up warrior two and into side angle. And again, moving dynamically here. Feeling the strength of the foundation of the earth beneath you as it supports you while you move slowly and fluidly through this movement. When your last exalted warrior arrives, bring yourself back to warrior two. And then windmill your arms down, stepping back into downward facing dog. Breathing here for 5 breaths. Pushing into your index fingers and your thumbs. Allowing your knees to bend if that feels good. And let yourself hear your breath as you're breathing here. In through the nose. Maybe even exhaling out through the mouth, letting out that energy. We're here for one more inhale. And then exhale your feet, coming up to the top of your mat into a forward fold. Perhaps taking your hands and dropping them into your elbows, allowing the weight to be equally distributed in all 4 corners of your feet in this forward fold. When your inhale arrives, take a nice big breath in, reaching up to the sky, arms reach up nice and tall, hands come through heart center. Inhale here, exhale, arms release. Take a step back here. With one leg, and we'll come into Prasarita Padottanasana, with wide-legged forward fold. So your stance is going to be about a leg distance apart, whatever feels however most comfortable to you. And take a moment to set up your feet so that your toes are pointing forward. You've got a nice firm foundation and rooting, and lift up nice and tall through the spine on the inhale. And then exhale, hinging at the hips. So your tail is going to shoot back, your crown is going to shoot forward, and then eventually leaning down and rounding over your spine. And allow yourself to release here. Release your shoulder tension, release your neck, release your jaw. Perhaps if you wish, and this is only an option, you bring your hands to your hips. And then your hands on the back of your, on your sacrum. And if you like, you can clasp your hands, interlace your fingers behind. And then if you also like, you can inhale, lift those arms straight up to the sky or as straight as they'll go, but only if this is not going to cause you any pain. You don't want any shoulder pain or injury to be caused during this position. And just allow yourself to feel gravity do its work. When you're ready, release your arms down to your back and then all the way down to the ground. Take a quick inhale, halfway lift up, and then exhale, forward fold again. And let's walk our hands over to our right leg. So ever so gently, feeling a little bit of extension and stretching in the side body. Perhaps I feel a little bit of stretch in my right hamstring and even in my right calf. Knees can have a slight micro bend. If that feels good, they can be straight. Breathing here and breathing deeply, feeling rooted into your feet. And then inhale, walk your hands back over to the center and over then to the left side. I always find on this side that I'm able to stretch down a little bit further than I am on the other side, and you'll probably notice the same thing. We're not perfectly symmetrical in our construction, and that's okay. Breathing here. And on your next inhale, walking your hands toward the center, allow yourself to drop down again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And then inhale, hands can come to your heels. Bring yourself all the way up to a stand, and you can heel toe your knees together and bring yourself back to Tadasana. Take a moment here, hands in heart center. Breathing deeply. Feel yourself rooted into the ground, rooted into the earth. One more big deep inhale. And exhale, hands to the side. So I'm going to encourage you to come up again to the top of your mat. We'll take a nice big deep inhale up and exhale all the way forward, fold down. Step back into downward facing dog. Take a nice big deep inhale here and exhale. And then gently bring your knees down to the ground and bring yourself up to a seat. So from here, I'll encourage you to take a child's pose, and that child's pose might be with knees together, might also be with knees wide and apart with your toes touching, whatever feels most comfortable in your body today. And you might want a cushion or a rolled up blanket, or if you have a block, something to sit on if you need that extra little bit of support when you're in your child's pose. And whenever you're ready, just roll yourself down towards the ground. Breathing here. If you're in a wide-legged child's pose, I might encourage you to turn your head to one direction. Allow your heart to expand. If you're in a closed knee child's pose, feel your heart expanding on the back side of your body as you breathe in. If you've turned your head to one side, I'll encourage you to turn it in the other direction now. Continuing to breathe here. And feel yourself release into the ground with every exhale. If your head is turned to one side, I'll encourage you to turn it to the center so your forehead is facing down. And then very, very gently, very, very slowly roll yourself up one vertebrae at a time to a seat. Take your feet out from underneath you, and we'll extend them out in front for our Dandasana, our staff pose. So legs are straight out in front, feet are active so they're pointing towards you, your toes are pointing towards you. Feel some engagement in your legs. Maybe your knees are nice and straight. Maybe you need a cushion or a rolled up towel or a blanket, something to put beneath. That's always a nice option here if you have super crazy tight hamstrings. But find your seat, find your root, feel your sits bones down, and then loop and lift your shoulders up, and then drop your hands back behind so your fingertips are tented on the ground behind you, and allow them to act as supports in this staff pose. Closing down the eyes here. Feeling rooted and connected into the earth. Checking in with your body. Releasing any tension in your shoulders. Feel your core contained. And then gently pushing off with your hands, leaning forward with a straight back, hinging at the hips any amount. Continuing to breathe here, remembering that whenever your breath is compromised, you need to take a break and let go a little bit. So try not to lean in too deeply so that your breath becomes an issue. And then whenever you're ready, rolling forward all the way down, nice round spine. Relax your head, relax your neck. Maybe take a block or a pillow beneath your forehead and allow it to rest on your legs as support. Breathing deeply here for 5 more breaths. And when your 5th breath arrives and you're ready, on the inhale, rolling yourself back up to a seat, nice and tall. Take one leg in towards you, keeping the other leg extended out, and then bring that bent knee or bent leg over top of the straight leg so that your foot is on the outside of the outer knee of that straight leg. And then we'll take a moment here to take the straight leg side, the bent knee, the opposite arm, the opposite arm of that bent knee, wrap it around that knee and pull it towards you. And then inhale, bring that same side arm up to the sky, and exhale, maybe twisting at the core, dropping that arm down back behind you. So it's a very convoluted way to get into this. Inhale nice and tall, and exhale from the core. Twisting maybe a little bit more. Inhale deeply, rising nice and tall, and exhale, sinking into that twist. Allow that twist to come from your core, not from your neck and your shoulders. And whenever you're ready, unraveling here, maybe bringing a counter twist in, taking that bent knee out and setting up for the other side. And hopefully this instruction will be much clearer. Bringing the opposite leg towards you, give it a nice little hug. Bring it over top of that extended leg. Opposite arm to the bent leg twists around. You can also come into that stop sign shape if you like, whatever feels best in your body. Inhale, the same side arm up and extend it back over as you twist from the core. Inhaling, lifting up and twisting a little bit more from the core. Maybe this time your thoracic spine is engaging in that twist as well. Inhale here. Exhale, twist a bit more if that's available to you. And then inhale, unravel the whole thing. Give yourself a little counter twist on the other side for a moment. And extend and unravel. And let's just do a twist back and forth to reset our spine. And then we're going to get set up for a Navasana. So I'll encourage you to bend your knees in front of you. And we're going to roll down, engaging the abdominal muscles as much as possible and trying not to fire the hip flexors as much as we might normally do. Nice tall spine, inhaling up, and then exhale, roll your spine down from the tailbone, one vertebrae at a time, just coming low enough and slowly enough to your sacrum, and then hold here and breathe. Inhale, roll yourself back up. Exhale, rolling down one vertebrae at a time from your sacrum, rolling down, maybe this time all the way down to your waist. Hold here. Bring yourself back up on the inhale, and then exhale. Let's roll it down nice and slowly, all the way down. Slowly, slowly. Keep your feet on the ground if you're able, and then down, all the way down to your back. From here, with knees still bent, I'll invite you to bring your feet up into tabletop so that your shins are parallel with the ground. And you'll probably feel a little bit of a natural curve in your back, which is great. That's what should happen. But I'm going to encourage you now to do a little bit of a pelvic tilt. And so what's going to happen is that part of your back that's up off the ground is going to push in, and you're going to contain your core and encourage the use of your abdominal muscles as you do so. So you're going to take a nice big deep inhale, and then on the exhale, tilt that tailbone, push into your back, your lower back, so your entire back is pushed into the ground, and you might feel your tailbone tip forward and your legs are just going to follow. And then lower back down on the inhale. 2 more times like this. Exhale, bring it forward, pushing into the ground, engaging those abdominal muscles. Your legs should just be following with you. They shouldn't be doing the work themselves. And then inhale, coming back down. And then exhale, tilt that tailbone forward towards you, curling up and over, towards your heart, towards your nose. And then inhale, bring it down. One leg comes down, the other leg comes down. Maybe twist here, windshield wiper your legs if you like, if that feels good. And I'll invite you now to come into a supported bridge. So your supported bridge, if you happen to have blocks, block would be perfect. If not, a cushion will do as well. And it doesn't matter really how heavy or thick that cushion is. This will work in the same way, or you could grab a nice book. I happen to have a bookshelf here, and just grab one off a bookshelf and use that as a support. If you're using a firmer support, I'll encourage you to make sure that you're using the lowest height. Your feet are firmly planted on the ground, and then just lift your hips up off the ground and slide that support underneath so that it's underneath your sacrum. So that means it's not touching your waistband at all. You want your sacrum, that flat part of your hip bone, to be the thing that it lands onto the support. So whether it's a book or a block, same thing goes with a cushion. We don't want that to be up underneath our waist. We want it to be down below. So your bum might hang off your support a little bit, and you'll rest here. Feel the support from the earth. Feel the support from your block, or your, maybe even you have a bolster or a pillow. Close down your eyes and rest here. Breathing deeply, exhaling completely. Feel your belly fill up and expand on the inhale, and fall back down on the exhale. Allow your shoulders to release and relax. Allow your neck to relax. We're here for 5 more cycles of breath. And when you're ready, pushing into your feet if you have a block beneath you, just enough to take your support out, and drop your hips back down, and allow your spine to rest there in neutral for a moment. You'll feel that curve in your lower back again where your waist may be. Resting here. Your eyes can stay closed. And I'll encourage you to take your right leg and cross it over top of your left, like you're crossing your legs sitting in a chair. And we'll just come into a supine twist from here. So you'll just drop your knees towards the left, any amount, maybe bringing a cushion underneath as support, and opening your arms up out to a T. Perhaps you move your head in the opposite direction of your knees. And this nice supine twist, relaxing here, allowing gravity to do its work. We're here for 5 cycles of breath. Feel the gentle twist in your spine, the opening in your side body. And when you're finished your last cycle of breath, engage your core muscles and bring your legs back up to center and uncross your legs and switch the other side. Left leg goes over top, and whenever you're ready, just drop your knees towards the right. Maybe take your head in the opposite direction. Arms can be in a T, they can be also in cactus arms if that feels good. If you want, you can stretch your arms out overhead, whatever feels best in your body. And again, we're here for 5 more breaths. And engaging your core muscles when you've finished, bringing your legs up, uncrossing the legs, and setting yourself up for Shavasana. Your Shavasana might include a cushion beneath your knees. It might allow for a blanket. Maybe you have an eye pillow or a small hand towel that you can place over your eyes. And I'll encourage you to sink in here. Allow your legs to extend. Allow your arms to extend, turning your palms face up. And begin by focusing your attention on the crown of your head. Allow it to sink into the earth. Relaxing here. Relax your forehead, your temples, your cheeks, your jaw. Release your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Feel your neck release, your shoulders relax, your upper arms, your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, hands, and your fingers. Feel your chest release. Feel your back body sink into the earth. Feel your belly relax as it gently rises and falls as you breathe. Feel your hips release into the ground. Feel your quads, your thighs relaxing and releasing, letting go of all muscular holding. Allow your knees to relax, your calves, your ankles, your feet, and your toes. And I'll leave you here in silence for a few moments. As you rest in your Shavasana. Gently wiggling fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Taking slightly deeper inhales to signal to the body that it's about to move from this resting shape. Maybe you stretch your arms out up overhead if that feels good, stretching your legs in the opposite direction. And bend your knees into your chest, wrapping your arms around your legs, maybe rocking from side to side, giving yourself a nice big hug. And eventually rocking over to one side, laying in a fetal position with your head resting in your bottom arm. Breathing here for a few cycles. And gently push yourself back up towards a seated position. Legs can be crossed, you can be seated on your heels, keeping eyes closed if possible. And eventually bringing hands to heart center, bowing the chin slightly towards the hands. Bringing hands to forehead so the heart meets the mind. And we'll close with a simple namaste. Thank you everybody for practicing with both Jess and I today. Please give us any kind of feedback. We would love feedback, constructive or otherwise. Anything would be great, so that we can learn and grow from this experience. Hopefully you enjoyed the practice today and you'll be able to tune in again next time if we are up to it. Thanks again everyone. Bye-bye.